Do you remember this guy? The shepherd sleeps. The first etch. Needed a line there. Need a line over here. Well, I did another etch on it. I put an aqua tint on it. The aqua tint moves the mountains into the background. There's a little bit of tone up on the hills. So I put additional line etches so you can see all these little tiny lines that I have on the hills and on the sheep and I did some lines on the side of the house. There they are. You can see all this little line work. It's in addition to the aqua tints I put on. You can really kind of see it up there, some of the line work. After the aqua tint, I did some color work. I had a green, a permanent green light up in here. This is kind of a burnt sienna. Leads back to this burnt sienna. Shepherd house. And then the green fields with the purple mountains and the indigo mountains and finally the indigo sky. But I really kind of hated all this. The colors are not harmonious. So instead of polychromatic, I decided to go monochromatic and just use the indigo from top to bottom. I printed these off last week, and these are printed on watercolor paper. This is a pad. You get 12 sheets, 15 by 20. I ripped these down, so you can see these edges are ripped. These are now 13 by 16 inches. That's my standard large size. This is 140-pound paper. It's a fairly heavy paper. It will wrinkle some once the water goes onto it. So I will have to bring these home and put stacks of weights on top of them to flatten them out. From my box of colors, I am going to select one indigo. I have a selection of brushes. I will be using this one to lay in the color and probably two wide ones to lay in the washes to draw the color down the paper. My color is going to be mixed in a shot glass. I'll open up my tube of indigo, squeeze a good dollop in there. This is a new color for me. Indigo, this is new. I love this color. Don't know why I've never used this before. I'm going to pour some water in there. A little bit too much, so pour off the excess. So I've got about half a shot of water here. And take my brush and mix it up. We'll take a look at this on a paper towel. Yep, nice and dark. So I'm going to get a little bit of color and along the top of the print. More color along the top. Now I'm switching brushes. And this one's loaded with water. And this will draw some of that color down. Lovely watercolor. Now the paint is not completely even. It streaks, it has striations, it puddles, but that is the beauty of watercolor. Now some lovely indigo for the mountain in the back. And then I rinse my brush, and this is just water that draws the color down from the mountaintop, dark into light. And the back mountain needs more pigment. It lays in pretty fast. And this is just water here. And the water pulls the pigment down from the top. I'm going to add a little bit more pigment up here. A little bit darker. And one more mountain. I kind of don't want to touch that area that I just painted in above it because it will bleed up. I've got a brush load of color. Lay it in. fresh load of pigment on my brush. And this is just water. Adding a little bit more color up at the top. Brush load of indigo. Avoiding that smokestack there. More color on the brush. I'm going to put this under the fan and get the other print. Is this print number 1 or print number 2? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. What do you guys think? So this has been drying for a while. Take and lay this color in, and this is going to all be a little bit darker here. Again, with the atmospheric perspective. The foreground is very dark. It goes from dark in the foreground to light in the background. And now more of the foreground. Up to my little sheep. I haven't named him yet. Maybe Sam. And under the fan it goes. For the house and the path, I'm going to use a slightly different technique. Here I'm going to lay the color in, then blot it with a paper towel. Then blot it. Color. It gives a little bit of a pebbly feeling to it too. And blot it. Taking a little water to it. That's nice. And the next print. And finally we have the sheep. So he's going to get a little wash of indigo in his center section, underneath of him, his eyes and his nose, a little bit on his hooves. Pull a little of that color into the top of his head, down his legs, and the legs go into shadow. So guys, out messing around while the shepherd sleeps. So if you like the shepherd sleeps, hit the like button and check out the link to my Etsy site and subscribe. And we'll see you the next time on Vlog Moskow.